Good afternoon, love, and good afternoon, light, illuminators and wayshowers. Thank you for being with me once again. This is Wendy bringing to you the infinite languages of lights. In the spirit of following our highest excitement, moment by moment by moment, as far as we can take it, I most often do things spur of the moment. So in the spirit of that, and in being synchronistic and serendipitous, I was in the middle of emptying the dishwasher and all of a sudden just said, I can do that another time. My highest excitement was to come outside and be in the bliss of my natural state, nature. The skies are pure blue. It's a gorgeous sunny day. I have a warm, lovely warm afternoon. And I just had the impulse to come outside and share some light languages with all of you. I apologize for any noises in the background. We've got some neighbors and the dogs are out and people are, working on construction projects. And I could be doing 100 other things. And one of the things that we talk about in ascension is about being in the state of our highest bliss and excitement, and how aging stops during that process. And I was thinking just a moment ago, with that said, I wanted to thank each and every one of you for reaching out with me. I've had another amazing, amazing week. With the interaction and the co-creation and the alchemization with private sessions, when I meet any of you one-on-one, it is just a miraculous, glorious experience for me. And so I wanted to thank all of you, to all of you who reach out to me in any way, shape, or form. It's a blissful divine honor. And so I'm to interact with your energy in any way, shape, or form. And especially when I have the opportunity to have a one-on-one video conversation with people, it literally shifts and changes. Everything creates a new parallel reality, but what I feel is that it completely changes we together have shifted to an entire new parallel reality and a new version of this earth in the natural state. It's truly a miraculous. I wish there were better adjectives. And this is why I love light language, because it surpasses the filtration system of language, of translating it, for these are truly the languages of the heart. And so I wanted to thank all of you for reaching out to me, in your comments, your private sessions, ordering personalized audio recordings and video recordings. Any way that I interact with your energy is just a joyous experience. And yet meeting people face to face is really my highest joy and excitement. And even conversing with all of you in this way, I feel as if I'm speaking with all of you. And thank you so much for the comments that you share. And as I said, I've got, so many other things going on, as we all do. And yet my highest joy and excitement was to take this moment and just absorb the light codes of the blue sky, the sunlight, the trees, the elementals, the beings, the fey realms, everything speaking to me. I feel so tethered to the earth, grounded, yet so able then, by doing so, to really expand out to my multidimensional selves, as that's what we are all doing. That is what ascension is ascending our perception, expanding on our perception of what we know we are and who we are and what we are capable of, and realizing our body, everything that we do, the reality that we create, is within our consciousness. Our body, our mind does not drive this reality. Our consciousness does. And this is what this ascension is all about, in understanding that when we share and connect and share our processes and just connect with each other in the knowing that we're all in this together, we're all the same, at our core being, at our natural state of being, we are all the same. We are human, and we need to see ourselves. We need to see ourselves from this higher perspective, and understanding that our life doesn't happen to us; it happens for us, by us, in exactly the right timing, the right moment. And I catch myself. I shouldn't say no longer. I catch myself now when I say the word I should be doing something else, because that implies that the thing that I'm most excited to do in this moment, I'm judging it and categorizing it. If I'm not doing it and not expressing myself in that way in that moment, I'm doing myself and all that is a disservice, because I'm saying that what I want and my highest joy and excitement and instinct to do in that moment is not as important as what I think I should be doing or could be doing, and that this moment isn't already perfect. And this is what we need to come to understand, that when we are excited about doing something, I'm laughing at the spur of the moment. I would say probably 99% of my videos have always been completely other than planned events, or maybe my guides have said, there's something we'd like to talk about, a subject, when the moment happens, or sometime, but when the moment arises, let's talk about the subject. But for the most part, and even then, it happens serendipitously when the moment is right, when the timing is right, when the energy is right, the timing is perfect. And so that's how we have to remind ourselves now that our timing is always perfect, regardless of how we experience it, how we judge it. Our timing is always perfect. And so it's about dropping what you're doing at that moment, or how do I in this moment incorporate my joy and excitement, and I celebrate that and express that. And I'm laughing because just a little while ago, and if she's watching, hey doll, darling, just conversing with social media and being able to send little sound clips of light languages back and forth to each other. And I do this with several of you, so thank you, all of you who hang out with me. And we share these, we get these spur of the moment. Here I'm emptying the dishwasher, that's why I was laughing, and she's cooking, and here we are sending each other little voice clips back and forth of light languages, just out of the spur of the moment, and getting the most joy out of it. And that's what was so funny about this, was because I have all these other things that require doing, and yet it's one of those things where it's, no, go outside, enjoy the moment. I had this quiet opportunity quiet enough opportunity to be out here in this gentle breeze, the blue skies, the pure sunshine, and it's so bright I can't even take my glasses off, you guys, because I'm just gonna squint. And I even went to the other side to sit in the shade, and it was too cold, and I said, you know what? No, I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna sit outside and this is what this means. Taking your highest joy and excitement as far as you can take it, moment by moment, until you can take it no further. Within what you have and can do in that moment, and take it to the highest degree of joy that you possibly can, and without any expectations of where it's going to take you. And that moment led me to the next moment of saying, you know what, I'm just going to go do this video. I'm going to go sit outside for a few minutes and, don't bother with the outside noises and just be and enjoy. And remembering again, if many, and I refer to Bashar a lot, the entity Bashar from the Sasani, the Shikani race. Their planet is Sasani, Shikani, the place of living light, and which was one of the first channelers I found, channeled through Daryl Anka, and they are our family. They're part of our DNA. They're one of our families, our hybrid families. And the moment that I found that energy, I knew right away, somehow, some way, I was connected to all of that. And so I do refer to that and them and that energy very highly. Yet I also understand on a deeper level that information is universal. It's universal language of love, the universal language of light. It is the information of the highest, purest energy of light, yet also the explanation, the bridge of how we create our reality. How do we physically create our reality with our consciousness? And how do we connect to all of those other consciousnesses? How is that possible? And how do we misunderstand or misinterpret, or how do we define physical reality, and how do we redefine physical reality, and how, when we redefine physical reality and how it's created, we experience it differently. We experience everything differently. And so this expanded my own awareness, yet also understanding I was also a part of the creation of that information. How all of us go back to that natural, that golden thread that connects us to that one central sun, that one creation, the creator, and how we each we're created in our creators of parallel realities and universes. We are each a universe. And so it bridged the gap for me between the spiritual world, understanding that religion is created by man, but yet it's a bridge, and it's okay. But do we need that permission slip anymore to understand this is higher vibrational understanding of, we're redefining what we know about how we create physical reality, how we connect to all of our parallel lives that are happening simultaneously right now in the here and now. The past life that we call our past lives are another parallel reality having their own experience. And that version of you, us, is not this version of you, of us. And this gets it's complex, but it's not complicated. And once we begin to open up our light codes, our synapses in our brains, these light codes that come through nature, through sound, through symbols, through the sunlight reflecting off the moonlight, the fact that this energy from the Shikani Sasani race, this higher vibrational trinary balancing energy of understanding that everything is an alchemy, everything that's created is 1 + 1 = 3, and it's new, and that we are all one being. The one is the all are the one. That this idea that we're separated from anything is all dissolving. And with our realizations come tears, come physical ailments, come uh, light bulbs going off, just the realizing that we can, it's almost like they're showing me right now, like instead of taking, this going up the stairs, one at a time, we're taking 2 and 3 and 4 and 10 at a time. It's it's um as if like any other um levels of schooling, if you will, as you raise your vibration, as we raise our vibrations, as you learn more and advance into your schooling and being able to process these more complex understandings and then applying them in the physical reality and seeing how the physical manifestation is a mirror of that reflection of um, of that definition, and that light languages are the languages of all of that is, including all of this information, which is why I connected with the emissaries of the light collective, so lovingly calling themselves Emily with me. Because we as humans need something short, we need names, we need identification, and so this was their way of saying, if this is makes it easier for you to explain and identify who we are, that's fine. It's a permission slip, just like everything else. And so, emissaries of the light, Emily, it was just a almost like an acronym, if you will. So, but it's for our benefit. Yet they explained that they are just like us, all of us who have chosen to take this master class, that they are also interested in being a part of this, what this is, this ascension of this, of this, uh, the most unique place in all of the of all of creation. Who wouldn't want to be a part of this in some way, shape, or form? And so we are all a part of that by virtue of nothing being disconnected from anything, but we get to experience this in a new way, in a way that the human race never has before. And even surpassing the jumps that, for example, before computers were invented, and so many, how many people now who don't even remember what that was like, or when that was, when this social media and computer situation didn't even exist yet. And so we can't, because our reality is what it is, we can't imagine any other kind of reality. Yet for many of us who were around before computers and PCs and cell phones and all of that, we wanted to be a part of witnessing great change. And so many of us now are understanding that channeling is receiving all this information from all of these guides, and the emissaries of the light collective are a gathering of people, light beings from other realms and dimensions, physical, non-physical, planetary systems, star systems, all carrying their information, their light, their perspectives, and also receiving what we're giving them, that they may also learn and ascend and grow. And when we understand the mirror, the cycle of how this happens, we begin to appreciate more and more how many of us have come to take this class, this challenge, and how perhaps few of us have come to take this challenge. Because it's both sides. It's appreciating both sides. And so so when I first, going back to the Shikani, when I first became aware of this information and this energy, and that they were sending this higher frequency energy down to earth through the moonlight reflecting, of course, which is our sun reflecting off of our moon, and that this energy was being beamed down to earth, and that we can actually become aware of this and ask for more of it. And that's how I started my own awakening process. And so that actually started to begin that unlocking process of all the other doors and light languages and channeling, but understanding that we're always channeling something, and it's just a matter of where your focus and awareness is and how much information you'd like to draw in at any given time, and how is it pertinent to your path, all of that, and the perfect timing of all of that, and how eager I was at the time. I remember first hearing light languages and being so very excited and eager to hear them, understand them, and translate them. And yet that eagerness also opened up to being more aware and open, and all of the other parts of the puzzle of how that's activated, and understanding that that perfect moment would come when and if it was part of my journey. And it did, clearly, and clearly changed my entire, reality, parallel reality. And it helped me open up the doors to understanding all of our connections to the first souls. And then when one of the first entities, our energies that I channeled, they said to me, we are Eli, Anna, Illianna of the Elohim. We are the reflection of God. We are the reflection of Source. You are the first light of Source. You are the first reflection of God. You are the first reflection of Source. This is what we wish to convey. This is the energy we wish to convey. And they are also represented in the emissaries of the Light Collective. Again, a collective of beings who, just like us, who has chosen to be a part of this expansion in their own awareness, and expand and grow from our expansion and growth, and how the part that you and I and all of us play in that. And by following our highest joy and excitement without having the expectation of where it's going to land us, and just know that it's going to land us someplace pretty great because our higher selves have brought us there. Our instincts, it's telling us to start listening and following to our instincts, and be darned what other people say or think, or how you have judged it by way of fear, all the ways that we talk ourselves out of doing something, instead of just being okay with, I have to laugh again. We were just talking with somebody in a session about how we both bought coloring books, these meditation mandala coloring books, yet don't actually color in them because we feel it's confining, and it's like we're not allowed to color outside the lines. Yet of course looking at them alone is activating. And yet every single thing, every object, every belief system, everything is a permission slip to open ourselves more and more to who we are and all that is. So we also understand that while we can use it as the bridge and the permission slip, we also don't need it. These are the higher dimensional ideas. And so we were laughing about how grateful we both were that we shared that with each other, because we're also afraid to say, hey, I color outside the lines. Oh my God, well, so do I. Well, what is all of this? All of this and what we're doing here together is coloring outside the lines. Bursting outside of the breaking off the seams of the box and saying, there are no boxes anymore. And understanding that when we begin to see each other, also not just when we begin to see each other as a human collective consciousness, we also begin to see everything as one God consciousness, if that's what we want to call it. And again, these are just names. And Seneseto somoloa maneki urushatetea seleheloko. And just as we are ET DNA creators, if you will, and the beings that were created through all of these cycles and filtering down to us and our future selves, if you will, or our future selves, and then filtering down to us, if you will. However, because it's not linear, so you begin to understand all of our connection to all of this, and now what we're calling first contact and the first visitors, and how so many of us who are resonating with light languages and channeling, and we're being like pulled to share this greater these higher ideas. And I've always believed all my life that I could hear my angels, that I always had an angel on my shoulder. I've always said that. I don't have any tattoos, but I always said if I did, in my younger years, I thought, well, if I had one, I would get an angel on my shoulder. And then I think I just instinctively understood that, again, they were always with me. It was like I didn't need necessarily the physical representation of that. Plus, bless you guys' hearts who do that, because wow, to inflict pain upon yourself on purpose like that is so coolly awesome that I'm just not one of them. Although I did have 2 kids with no drugs at all, so and just breathing. So there you go. I guess somebody needed to hear that. So yeah, just breathing. And just that whole thing, when I think about it, that was many, many years ago, but it made me understand that connection of my breathing to my own ability to calm my body, to that my mind isn't necessarily what's in charge. There was something else with me. And so I digress. Sorry I shouldn't say I see. There we go. We judge what I judge what I share, but clearly someone needed to hear that. So, and I had the choice. To medicate myself from that. And I chose not to, and talk about the natural way to do it. And I guess I'm just one of those people who really wants to be aware of that. And so let's come back full circle then. And that's where they were taking us with this journey. Is I guess in a part of me wanted to be aware of the process, and that is what's happening with so many, this new wave of channelers, of people who are beginning to understand, oh, wait a minute, I'm connecting to all things at all times. And if I understand that clearly, then by virtue of that, and understanding that I can bring in any energy that I intend to, simply by asking whoever's highest joy and excitement of all of creation can assist me and would like to assist me, I ask them to do so now. And that's really no different than praying to God for help, or our angels, or whatever practice and permission slip we've been using. But we understand it always has been that way. There never was a separation. We came to Earth to play the game of separation like nowhere else in creation. Nobody else has ever experienced this but here in these Earth realities. And so that's how amazing and special we are. And this is what we came to remind each other of, and how awesome and amazing and how we are, and how we have that ability now to be a conscious, aware human. This is the human that we're creating now, this Homo Galacticus, if you will, that understands I am in a physical body. I am having an experience as a physical body while I'm also experiencing my multidimensional self. And And I like being aware. Like right now, I can like feel collectively, yet singular. I can also feel the signature vibration energy of each of my guides. For example, my Pleiadian guides, my Syrian guides, my Andromedan guides, my Fendorian guides, my Yael guides, those that I'm working with in the astral, the Shikani, the Sasani, the angels, the Angelics, the Elohim, the Eliahai. It's when we become aware of this, we begin to understand how we can actually bring this energy down here, and ground it into the earth plane, and bring this what we call magic and what we once considered in other parallel realities as gods, in some way, shape, or form, we and some thread are connected to by virtue of being connected to all realities, all parallel lives, everything, all that is and ever was. And this is really big. I mean, this information is really big for us. And so ascension is wrapping our minds around that, but then again, wrapping our minds around it is understanding that, again, our consciousness is created and continues to create billions and billions of parallel realities moment by moment by moment. And this is the concepts that that these light codes help us assimilate and expand. Oh, there's my ride coming. So here, I'll pause for just a moment. If I can see, it's hard for me to see out here. Well, I guess that's my cue to wrap it up here. So, and again, I never know necessarily. I never know exactly where these videos are going to take us. So, si malahama kolia porasha na teleki epokosana telehabarakosiana lia kora kesete se I pasado kolia pokosane ela some ela kolia bakoyana barakesha and abelakotera keshe se masate sheneteki aporakasha na telekiasa na telekiasa na sete. It's really about expanding. Ascension is about raising our awareness and our frequency vibration of what and who we think we are and what we are capable of, and that we are so powerful that we can create these experiences of being disconnected, of being not connected to each other, and not connected to source, and not connected to our beings, and understanding it's not about making it happen. It's just about asking and allowing, and then literally following the things that excite us the most, because those are the things that are going to reflect that back in our reality and make that reality happen. Because it really is only the beliefs that are created by our thoughts, by judging that highest excitement instead of just going with it, that stop the gears from turning. They literally throw a wrench in it, and so and keep things from turning. And we were talking yesterday too about action, and that it really is. There is always a time for reflection and allowing our frequencies to raise, and then integrating all that information. Yet if we don't continue the action and follow through with the action of the excitement, we still don't connect the circuit. And so it's about those circuits, those light circuits, about and that's, again, I'm dreaming. I must dream several times a week now about creating symbols in the astral, literally blankets of symbols, and literally changing the blueprint reality, but yet on this higher level that we are doing it together. So many of us are doing this together. All of us are doing this together, that are doing this, what we call light work, in any way, shape, or form that you're guided to do that. And stop judging about, ourselves, about coloring outside the lines, and working outside the box, and putting down what you're doing, and remembering. I'll never forget those words that Bashar said. If you understand and you go with the flow of synchronicity moment by moment, and trust that you are where you need to be, when you need to be, the timing of everything is absolutely perfect. You will do what you need to do when you need to do it, and have everything that you need to do that in that moment. And you follow that. And I every day do this to the highest of my ability. And I find it really does remind us that what doesn't get done at the end of the day didn't need to get done. And I have so many times now proven over and over to myself, and so much of it didn't need to get done ever. And it was, and all the worrying and energy that we put into putting the square peg in the round hole about the shoulds and couldas and shouldas, and instead of being in the now, because all of those things are not in the now. None of those are in the now. And so when it brings us back to center, brings us back to now, following our highest joy and excitement, then we realize it's it is the driving force that creates the reality we desire, and it brings to us the mirror of the reflection of things that we do prefer. And how many of the things that never needed to get done, because your higher self was telling you all along they didn't need to get done. And by stalling, it's often that it didn't need to get done at all, and that something better was waiting for us. And so that really is the true message with all of this. So Sebarakosa na te ila kusomoro shota eleki a traditionally eleki asadoboki ashanapola elakasonoli abosora eleki sanandi elakopoyasha eleki nasomorosa tashane. So I wanted to thank you all again for being with me in this now and every video that you watch, that you come across, whether it's this year or any of the videos over the last few years, are always going to be for your now, and for your light code, the things that you need. So and in me creating these symbols for each and every one of us, including myself, to help us open and activate these synapses, these circuits within us, and literally closing the circuits to help process and open us more to these portals of divine, higher energy, of moving into a direction of a human species that we all prefer. And all of the systems and services that go along with that. And remember, water has memory.